All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So I got the Galaxy S20 Plus and I've got the Axon 10 Pro, a phone that's highly underrated, but how does it stand up against the phone that costs 2 times as much and a little bit more, and it's still a pretty solid flagship? So first thing I want to talk about is the design and build quality, and we'll start with the Challenger here. You get this beautiful 6.7-inch display, quad HD, 90 hertz refresh rate, 120 hertz refresh rate at 1080p, 60 hertz at 2K. Good design. I have a skin on here, but you know, design is the same slippery back that the other phone has right there too. So skin it. Unfortunately, there's no skins for the Axon 10 that I know of. If it is, leave a comment down below and let me know. But this is the design here for the Galaxy S20 Plus, and it's actually a decent design. Nothing too crazy. It still looks good. Now, if I didn't have a skin on the back of this phone right here, I think the design still is not better than the back design of the Axon 10 Pro. I mean, this is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful design. Some of you guys don't like the cutout at the top. Some of you guys don't like the punch hole in the center. It's all the same at this point in the game, man. I don't think I have a complaint about either one. I'm gonna change this wallpaper to get more bright wallpaper on here. But nonetheless, I think both designs are nice. But I do, however, like the Axon 10's design a little bit better. Feels really good in the hand. It's got a nice sloping design and a curved display too, just like the S20 Plus. But this one, something about this one, it just feels really good. It's a lot more narrow on the edges. Yeah, and it's got that flat design on the sides, that matte design. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Now, I give design and hardware to the Axon 10 Pro. Now let's look at the fingerprint readers. And I want to point out something in the fingerprint reader I did with the OnePlus 7. I actually went back and slowed that video down that I did with the S20 Plus versus the Axon, the OnePlus 7T, and it in fact was opening a little bit faster in that video. But you know, my slow retina, I couldn't really tell. It looked like the OnePlus 7T overall was opening faster. So to clarify, and I did pin a comment from that person who pointed it out, and then several people pointed it out, but I already pinned a comment for it. The Galaxy S20 Plus fingerprint reader was in fact, look how fast that facial recognition is, was in fact opening it faster in that particular setting. So let's open these fingerprint readers. So I suggest you slow them down like I did and see which one is faster. They both have very fast. Now, again, to me, it looks like the Axon 10 Pro is at opening faster, but I'll slow it down after I put this video together and check it out myself too. But you know, as far as software goes, this is stock Android, and this is Samsung's One UI 2.1. And you know, it's a matter of preference. I like stock Android obviously the best. But that doesn't mean that Samsung's One UI 2.1 is bad. It's actually pretty solid, and it's one of the UIs that I actually favor because there's so many features and options when it comes to dealing with One UI, and that's what I'll lead into next. Stock Android has features, but they're very minimalistic. One UI is loaded with everything. I mean, it pretty much, you can customize from the phone. You can just do everything with Samsung software. So, I mean, I like stock Android, but I give the software and features definitely to the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. It just has way more features and functionality than most phone skins today. Even if ZTE had their skin on there, it still wouldn't be as good as the Samsung One UI, not on a bad day. But nonetheless, software and features and options, this definitely has more features and options in the software. But as far as hardware goes, they both have an SD card slot. And speaking of memory, this has 256 gigs of storage. You can also get it in a 12 gig version, but this is the 8 gig 256. This has 8 gigs, 128 or 512, I believe. And the price really goes up at that point. So let's just tackle price since I just brought it up. The Axon 10 blows it out of the water. For a feature set, They both have stereo speakers and things. Speaking of price, they both have stereo speakers, but the Axon 10 has the Dolby Atmos. This has the Dolby Atmos too, but it's nothing like, where's my Dolby Atmos? There it is right there. It's nothing like the Dolby on this device right here, man. The sound quality that comes in there, it has DTS too. The sound quality that comes from the Axon 10 Pro is incredible. It's just ridiculously good. So the Axon definitely wins in that aspect. As far as screen quality goes, I give that to the Galaxy S20 Plus. It does have the high refresh rate. Not that that's a winning factor, but I just like Samsung's displays. You know, I think they have great displays, and it's a Quad HD display. So I think that's something that you need to take note of. And just for reference, it does have like that full display with the little pinhole, if that means something to you. Doesn't mean much to me. They pretty much look the same as far as I can see it. So, you know, take note of that. When it comes to performance, this is rocking the latest processor from Qualcomm, and this is the previous processor from Qualcomm, 855, 865. No difference, folks. No difference in performance, none whatsoever. So those who tell you that there's a difference in performance, I'd love to measure up how they're doing that, because day-to-day tasks, I can't see it. I cannot see it. I can't see it. So the Axon 10 battery life has always been fantastic, but for some reason, man, I'm getting a lot of battery, and I use this every day, and I'm on LTE. I don't even use Wi-Fi anymore because in the house, AT&T is good enough. Sometimes when I'm doing a large download, I'll use the Wi-Fi. But overall, the battery on the S20 Plus, man, I'm easily getting 7.5 to 8, and it's just incredible. Now on the Axon 10, I can pull down between 6 and 7.5. If I push hard, I could probably get 8 hours out of this. But I'm not even trying to push the S20 Plus, and I'm getting great battery life. So take note of that. Overall, which one would I tell you to buy? I'd tell you to buy the Axon 10 Pro because it's lower in price. It's feature packed. It's got all the features that the S20 has. As far as hardware goes, not all, but it has great cameras. All right, guys, so here's the Galaxy S20 Plus versus the Axon 10 Pro. I kind of have mixed feelings about this video footage here, and here's why. I'm going to go and explain it right now in this video. As I looked at the viewfinder, the Samsung seems to be making my shirt a lot more punchy than what it is, and the ZTE Axon 10 Pro seems a little bit, that's exactly what color the shirt is. While it does look beautiful, the way the colors are being represented on the Galaxy S20 Plus, the more realistic colors are actually coming from the Axon 10 Pro. The front camera on the Note 10 Plus, excuse me, the S20 Plus is set at 4K 60, which is the peak, and the peak on the Axon 10 is 1080p. So I don't know if that's why, but that's what I see. All right, so 4K 60 on the rear of the Galaxy S20 Plus. This is the footage that you're going to get in this particular setting that I'm using it in. This is what it looks like, and now I'll show you the other device. All right, here's 4K 30 because that is the peak that the Axon 10 can do on the rear. 60 frames per second is limited to 1080p for the rear, but this is 4K, and this is the footage that you'll get from the Axon 10 if you're going to use it in the same setting I'm using it in right now. There you have it. And it has a great battery. It has better build quality, in my opinion. It has a great screen. It has the functionality. It has better speakers overall. It has the Dolby, the DTS. It just has a lot going for it, and the price is lower. So, I mean, if you slap both of these on the table, I'm going to tell you, hey, no, don't even worry about that. Just get the Axon. Because I can get this version I have right now is on sale for $430. This phone right here, even with the trade-in, still would be kind of pricey. It'll be more than this phone. It's just incredible. So, with no trade-ins or anything, you can just grab this phone. You can grab 2 of these for the price of 3 for the price of this phone. So, and if you want the 12 gig version, it's just $50 more, $489. I don't think you'll need the 12 gig version. This has 12 gigs, and I don't see the difference in performance between the two. But it's up to you to decide, man. So this is your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed a quick comparison, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Which one would you buy if you had the money for both? If they're both the same, and let me answer this question. Some people always say, well, what if they're both the same price? Which one would you tell people to get? I see what they're trying to do in that question, but these aren't the same price, you know. And if they were the same price, I don't think my mind would change. This phone is still a great phone. It still offers so much, you know, if you like stock Android too. But the downside that people are going to say, oh, ZTE doesn't update their devices. We're not talking about updates and all that stuff right now. We're just talking about how these things perform against each other. And that's pretty much it. The recommendation at this point for me is the Axon 10 Pro, if you ask me which one of these you should buy in the market right now. See you in the next one. Take care.